Welcome everyone already. And good evening.
In the tower, we just, well, I didn't actually, all hopefully we enjoy the sounds of the carillon played by Christian Winter. Your wonderful applause for musician upstairs with me. Christian Winter. Carillon music, thank you so much. Over een uur ga ik je straks graag terugzien in de toren. We gaan weer genieten van jouw prachtig carillonspel. Tot later, dank je wel. In about an hour, he will be back, Christian Winter, for playing the carillon again. So, wonderful that you're here. My name is Susan Kruis and I will do the presentation in 4 languages. That means I would like to think there are French people. Il y a des Français ce soir. Alors, il y en a. Ah bon, vous êtes là pour entendre la présentation en français en plus. Merci beaucoup. Dames en heren, we hebben een prachtig programma weer te gaan van de Kaasmarkt. De Kaasmarkt zal de opening verrichten om 7 uur, dus met een kleine 10 minuten.
We're gonna open in 10 minutes and she's presenting it in 4 languages. So Dutch, German, French and English today. And hello everyone.
We will ring the cheese bell and for that moment we always have guests. The guest of course in a bit. So that will be the opening of the market at 7 o'clock exactly with ringing the cheese bell. Allora doet hij um 7 Uhr exakt beginnen wir den Käsekuchen und das passiert sich immer mit Gästen. Also Gäste sind jetzt arrivés auf den Markt. Alors aussi pour vous en français, à 7h pile, on va sonner la cloche au fromage avec les invités et c'est toujours l'ouverture officielle du marché. Alors à 7h pile. Dames en heren, we hebben dus de gasten inmiddels zien arriveren op de markt. Aan de linkerkant voor mij en aan de linkerkant bij de wagen. En ik wil u graag voorstellen om de commissaris van de Koning in de provincie Noord-Holland, de heer Arthur van Dijk, te ontmoeten. Samen met onze burgemeester Anja Schouten. Alsjeblieft uw hartelijk applaus voor ons gast vanavond, de heer Arthur van Dijk. En we willen ontvangen door onze kaasvader, de man met de oranje gekleurde strohoed, de baas van de markt, de baas in de kaasdragersgilde. So, introducing the guest for tonight, and it's the King's Commissioner in our province Noord-Holland, Sir Arthur van Dijk. So, unser Gast heute Abend sehr spezial. Es gibt dazu den Herr Arthur van Dijk. Ist der königliche Kommissar in der Province Noord-Holland. Alors pour ce soir, notre invité pour sonner la cloche au fromage à 7h, Monsieur Arthur van Dijk. Il est le commissaire du roi dans notre province.
And as you can see, if you're speaking French, you can also understand everything in French. There's always a special guest that's opening the cheese market. And yes, it is. It's not Shakespeare this evening. It is the commissioner of the Queen of the King at this moment, together with the mayor.
Welkom Anja Schouten over de markt. Ik wens u allemaal een plezierige avond. Alvorens kunnen we naar de situatie op het scherm volgen, so we can see our guests at the screen. We kunnen die situation ook op de scherm volgen à l'écran. On suivre la situation maintenant avec les invités et notre maire Anja Schouten. Alors aussi le père de fromage qui porte comme monsieur le chapeau de paille orange. Il est le patron du marché et il se trouve à la tête du guide. Alors tous les porteurs de fromage avec ce père de fromage, c'est le guide.
Okay, I think you can now hear me a little better. So I can sometimes translate or tell a little more from what they were telling. Now, this lady over here is selling everything in 4 different languages. Really respect for her that she's doing it first in Dutch, then in French, then in English, and also in German. 20,000 kilograms of cheese is laying over here on the market, spread out. All these round cheeses, all about 13.5 kilograms each. That is about 29 pounds per cheese. So it's a lot. They're quite heavy. Normal people don't buy as big cheeses like this, but and they're saying they're Gouda cheeses. So of course I'm proud as a person who was grown up in Gouda to be here in Alkmaar to see so many Gouda cheeses. Meine Damen und Herren, die Käse ook. U maakt zich die Gouda-Käse in Land jede Dienstagabend presenteren wir 20.000 Kilo Gouda-Käse auf dem Platz. Produziert hier in Nederland durch zwei große Produzenten. Yeah, so all these yellow cheeses, or most are yellow, some are red. And we also see the cheese girls already walking around. They're trying to sell little pieces of the cheese. Never have too much cheese. 20,000 kilograms is maybe a little too much. And all the men in white also over there, by the way, are all the cheese carriers. We will see them later in action to get cheeses weighed. And if we look at all these men here in the middle, you see them sitting over there, and some of them are hanging out of the window. And there is a bell over there. There's a bell over there. There's a bell over there, and that's what they use exactly at 7 p.m. done by the cheese master, and that is the man with the orange hat. So we see different colors of hats. The one with the orange hat, that is the cheese master. Next to, and willkommen Antje, specifically for you. I'm showing you more Antjes. So. Oh, by the way, there's also some other things to do in Alkmaar on these summer days, as you can see. That would be a better view over the market from over there, by the way. Okay. And traditionally, in a traditional clothes, of course. Oh, we see the sun is just coming around the corner. It will be a beautiful evening for sure. The cheese bell will be exactly at 7 p.m. Okay, I'm just gonna zoom in a little. The market is opened officially by the commissioner of the king from this province, by the way. We see here all the cheeses laying, ready to be traded. Earlier today, they started placing them on the market. That cost them about 2 hours in total. And traditionally, by the way, all these cheeses are coming by ship into the city of Alkmaar, because that's where we are right now. And nowadays it's all coming by trucks. The cheese dad is that, or the cheese father, with the orange hat.
Welkom op de markt, hartelijk dank. Ja, prima, heel bijzonder. Het is een hele wereld gevraagd gewoon om de kaasbel te maken. Mag ik ook maar één keer doen, heb ik begrepen. Dus ik begrijp dat ik er heel even wat over heb. Ik wilde nog wel een paar minuten doorgaan, maar de kaasbel zijn wat niet zo genoeg.
And even the sun is now coming next to the building. It has the shape of a cheese at this moment, as you can see. And the mayor is saying it's a perfect evening because it's dry. And that's unique because the last week, almost every day, there has been a lot of rain here. So that's good to know. We are in Alkmaar at this moment.
Ik heb nu ook een stukje van glas gekocht. En ik heb mensen die dat nog niet gedaan hebben, ik adviseer dat wel te doen, want het is echt prachtig wat hier allemaal staat te gebeuren. Ja, ik denk dat de Alkmaar godsmogelijkheid dat denk ik dat gebruikt.
They're preparing already the way. This is because the big building here with the tower, that's the traditional weighing house. And they're preparing two different weighing scales. Two different scales to weigh the cheeses later on. And based on that, they decide the price of a cheese. Yeah, there's a lot of cheeses. And just to give you an idea, one of these Gouda cheeses, the round cheeses, they are between 13 and 40 kilograms each. So that is about 28, 29 pounds. So they're quite heavy. And I mean, Dutch people are eating a lot of cheese, but 13 to 14 kilograms, that will take some months. So you normally just cut a slice out of it and not completely. And we're laying over here. By the way, the newer cheeses are a little more modern because they have a QR code. Dat is wel Antje again. I will tell later on a little more about what are the different people, what do they mean.
Nee, ik heb haar niet ontmoet, dus ik kan niet zeggen dat haar zo heeft gesproken. Maar ik zie wel dat de bedoeling is dat het prachtig raam is. Die zon naar binnen schijnt.
Typical Dutch, you can see on the. Although, look at her clogs. Look at her clogs that this girl is wearing. They're very soft. Yeah, and I did this tour, I think, about a year ago now, still in the time of Hegel for the first time. That's true. So, and they're now, by the way, talking a lot about a very special year for Alkmaar, and that is because it is now on there. By the way, already starting to check the quality of the cheeses. You can see it on the bigger screen over there. So they're cutting a piece of the cheese into two. So, and why they're doing that is to see the inside, and they're checking, for example, the number of holes. Because a good cheese always has some holes inside, and these holes need to be evenly spread. And if they're not evenly spread, then it means that the cheese doesn't have a good quality. So you see over there, they're showing the cheese and they're looking at if the holes are there and if they're evenly spread. All the carriers in the meantime are starting to prepare. You see different colors. They have different colors of hats, different teams.
We hebben een prachtige keus hier, kaasvader. Maar in Dordrecht heb ik ingelezen. Hadden ze voornamelijk wijn, hout en graan. Dat is ook bijna hoort erbij, maar de kaasje is nooit weg. Ik weet niet of daar gildes bij gehoord hebben, maar wij gaan straks alles natuurlijk zo
A cheese rolling contest would work here very well, by the way, Lynn. So. Okay. No, there's not a color of a hat more important than the others. It is more that the original guild of the cheese carriers, they were divided in four different teams. And these teams, of course, they are a little competition, but they're all just doing the same type of job. So there are four colors for the red team, the blue team, the green team, and the yellow team. And they all have their own lanes. And in the end, they are helping the buyers of the cheese. So if we look here at the right side to the end and zooming in a little, you see there are several lorries, or at least two lorries standing over there. That is from the people who want to buy some of the cheeses. But of course, before they buy the cheeses, they want to know the quality. They want to see if it's good enough for the quality. They have to make a deal. You see the men over there are making a deal already to buy some of the cheeses. Then they're weighing the cheese to make sure that it is the good amount, how much they're weighing, and then based on that they're paying for the cheeses. And of course, these cheeses are literally bought by companies and sold. So it's not just for fun. It's not plastic. They're real cheeses that we see over here. And if they have some of the good cheeses, you see they place 8 different cheeses on the carrier. Then these men in front of us from the blue team, they first need these cheeses. Yeah. Okay, there they go. Go. They're going to the weighing scale to make sure that they have the right weight. Yeah, this is a little like a fish market, but then with cheeses. So a cheese market. Okay, and there are some others coming now. You see, they're working already. They're starting already. The next ones. And what you can see, they're always placing 8 different ones. 8 different ones, 14 kilograms each. So about 110 kilograms in total. And then together with the carrier, it is about 130 kilograms. So 270 pounds in total. Oh, this is a nice one. Antje together with the cheese. She was waving at us. Antje. Well, Antje. Well, Antje. Yeah, in Germany. Yeah. People were wondering here, how do you know our name? They're all Antje. Oh, they're running back. So these 8 ones are sold. So they're bringing them to the lorry over there at the other side. Imagine how heavy that is to have that on your back. So these ones need to be weighted again. Oh, look, they're even throwing some of the 3 cheeses. So imagine that. In the meantime, you see that the next team Over there, the green team, they're also preparing the cheeses, placing them on the carriers. Sometimes they're also rolling them, by the way, but in this situation, they're just throwing them. And all these 20,000. And yeah, it's always a little confusing. Everyone has a role. Okay, then they're getting up and running with the cheese. So, and the thing is, when they're running together, when they're running, they have to do that in the same rhythm. They have to do it in the same rhythm to make sure that the cheeses that are in the middle are not moving too much. You can imagine if you're not running in the right rhythm, then the cheeses are gonna go to the right and the left. So they have to do it in a very specific rhythm, and they're even calling it the cheese dribble. The cheese dribble, very, very specific. Yeah, and the scientists that you're seeing, that are the people that are checking the quality of the cheeses. So, and they're doing that in different ways. So you saw already that they're cutting open the cheeses. That's one thing. Then what they do is they have like they're sticking something in one of the cheeses. They're getting something outside of it, so that's very important. Then they crumble it. Then they crumble it in their hands to see the structure of the cheese. They smell it, and of course, they also taste it. So all that together to get the quality, or to decide if the quality of the cheese is good enough. So, and that, yeah, these are all Gouda cheeses, and a Gouda cheese you can easily recognize because that are the yellow big round cheeses. But, oh, and over there, by the way, you can see this is the cheese that they just checked. So you see there's a hole inside. They're making some holes inside the cheeses, picking out some of the cheese with a special machine for that. And that is what they are checking. Oh, and talking about rolling, we're rolling the cheeses. Yes, sorry. It is they're all Gouda cheeses, but you have with Gouda cheeses a lot of different variations. You have young, you have medium age, you have old, from cheeses that can be 2 months old to cheeses that can be more than 2 years old. Oh look, this is so nice to see them running all the way. Yeah, and of course they have to do 20,000 kilograms. They're rolling there again. So, and Antje, this is if you're coming to the Netherlands every week there's a cheese market in Alkmaar. Traditionally, there were even more than one per week, but nowadays there's one per week in summer season, or from April until the end of October. Um, and in summertime, it's now summertime, July and August. In summer holidays, they're also doing one in the evening. So it is, but this is more also to show tourists that maybe have later in the day some time to see how it went. In het begin van de markt, dames en heren, hadden we te maken met onze keurmeesters en handelaren. De mannen en een enkele vrouw ook, met de lange witte jassen. Als we verder kijken, ook een lange bruine jas, maar zonder de gekleurde stroken. En dit zijn de keurmeesters en de handelaren. Yeah, over here, you can see again, they're checking the quality of the cheese. Yeah, and what they're also saying, like based on the quality, they're also deciding the price of the cheese. So it can be higher quality and then a little more expensive cheese. And they're also asking people here in the public to try some. So let's see if I can maybe try one of these pieces to see if it's a good quality or not. And by the way, the weighing scales that we see there at the end, these are some of the weighing scales from the 17th century. So they are 400 years old. And the oldest one inside, there's one that's even from the 14th century. So this is when the cheese market started a long, long, long time ago. They're inspecting the cheese. Oh. Okay, she's giving some pieces so people can try to see the quality. Let's see if we can, and hopefully they all have some cheese at home. And otherwise, later on, I also brought some if I cannot try it myself. Okay, there's the. And let's see which one they are uh, letting us try. So, no, the cheese itself is not from the 14th century. No, 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 the weighing scale. The cheeses can be, with Dutch cheeses or Gouda cheeses, it can be a little over 2 years old. That's the maximum age. Okay, let's see if she's coming here later on. You can see what they're doing over there on the bigger screen. Well, the market is going on. Yeah, they have to do 20,000 kilograms. So, and of course, if you don't have cheese, and chocolate is a good alternative. And of course, together with cheese, although it's not very Dutch, to have some wine. Bless you. And the next one, in the dribble, in the dribble, in the dribble, in the cheese dribble. And you can also see that the carrier in the middle is almost not moving. Yeah, they're checking a lot of the cheeses, the quality here on the side. I just have the wrong position. Oh yeah, he's now coming. Yeah, he's now basically telling what telling what you have to do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move a little more to the weight house to see if I can see it from over there. One moment. Okay, one moment. I'm just gonna show you a minute. Hello, I'm here. By the way, my name is Stefan. If you didn't know that yet, a guide in the Netherlands and in Belgium, today in the city of Alkmaar. And Alkmaar is not only a beautiful medieval town, but also quite famous for the cheese market. And some of you maybe know, I'm grown up in the city of Gouda, famous for the Gouda cheeses, and one of the places where they are trading the Gouda cheeses is the city of Alkmaar. So that's why I'm here today on the cheese market, standing now in front of the old weighing house. By the way, originally this was a chapel, and in the 16th century they decided to make it to make it the weighing house because the cheese market became bigger and bigger. And I'm gonna see if I can try to get a little inside the weighing house. So one moment, I'm not as tall as most Dutch people, so that is sometimes a little harder. But I have my gimbal, so I can go over, hopefully. So one moment. Oh, here you can also let yourself weigh. You have to pay €1, and then this man, they're gonna weigh this man on this old. So the people at the other side, they're placing heavy pieces. This is how they normally weigh all the cheeses. And bit by bit, he's coming from the ground. He's coming from the ground. So, and together with the cheese man over here. Okay, just so over here, I set already some of these weighing scales. There are the two in front are used now for the cheeses. The one here is to weigh people. I mean, it's in the end the same principle. It's the same principle. So they're gonna place all these heavy pieces. A little more, little more, little more to have everything balanced. Now it's maybe look 99 kilograms. They were saying. So so you see two of the weighing scales. The third one is over here, and then the fourth one is just next to me. Over here you can see 1693, so also more than 300 years in use already. So just for weighing, and it also shows how very very big the market was over here. So that they needed four different weighing scales. So now look at this, even these men are over here. I can have my own face in here. The only problem is I'm on my own over here, so it's a little hard. I can try. I can try. Wait. It's not. It's not really big. It's not really big. I have nicer things to show. One moment. Okay, just walking back because it's not only the market but also the building over here. The weighing house is extremely beautiful. So I said already. Originally, this was a chapel in use as a chapel, and in the 16th century they decided that they needed a place for the cheese market. And what they did is they removed partly they removed the chapel, and they built the weighing house just at the backside. And you can still see that they removed part of it if you're looking at the ground. You're looking at the ground, you can see the old shape of the building. So they cut a piece off and made the weighing house. And by the way, you can also see that it is from the 16th century. If we are zooming in, you can see on top the year 1502. 1502, so more than 400 years old that they built this piece over here. And there's also something interesting, and I don't know how good your Latin is, but we see some text. SPQA restit fit virtus hablate jura bilancis. Okay, jura bilancis. I'm trying to do that in my best Latin. And what is standing over there? SPQA, that is what you also see in Rome, the Senatus and Populus of the city of Alkmaar. And they placed this because they were rested fit, so they had the courage, and they had the courage and the strength to get the weighing place back from the Spaniards in the 16th century. So we had a very long war with the Spaniards, and this was an important important thing that happened over here. We won from the Spaniards, and because of that, they placed this text over here that we got our weighing house back from the Spaniards. That's basically what they are saying. And of course, the cheese market, you can also, if you want, you can buy some pieces of cheese yourself. You see, there are a lot of different variations, a lot of different variations that you can all try. And just to I can do a whole tour only about cheese, but one thing is quite easy to recognize. An older cheese, that means that it takes longer, is always drier, more orange, and you can see that it looks old. It looks old, the cheese itself. This most probably this cheese over here will be about 2 years old. And younger cheeses are always more yellow, more softer, and they're also a lot less salty than the ones. So, but they have a lot of different ones over here that they're selling to the people that are, of course, here coming for the cheese market. I'm just going a little to the other side because the city itself here is also very beautiful. So, and yeah, for the people who are wondering when is this cheese market? It is in summertime in the evening, every Tuesday evening from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. local time. So it starts in the light, it ends in the dark. That is in the summertime, and in the rest of the year, from April to October, there's every week on the morning the cheese market. So it depends a little the time of the year that you're coming. But also to give you a little idea how beautiful this city over here, Alkmaar, how beautiful it is. There's all everywhere these little streets, very very small, very narrow, and just to give you an idea. Samples, give me. Okay, let's do. Oh, this is a private garden here on the site. I'm gonna try to find a place where I can sit because, of course, I also brought some cheese. I prepared myself. So we're gonna do a little cheese tasting. Sorry that I cannot uh, that I cannot give it, of course, to all of you. But let's do it over here next to the water. Next to the water, there are beautiful, really beautiful little canals also over here. And what I said already before, traditionally or originally, the cheese was transported to the cheese market by by water, so over the canals. So under the cheese were coming in flat flat boats and then all the way under these drawbridges to the cheese market and later on back. Me one moment. I have to check something. I have to get stuff out of my bag. Okay, because while I'm gonna change the screen. One moment. I just don't want to fall in the water. Don't fall in the water, safer. Okay, change the screen. Where are we? Yes, there we are. There we are. Of course, a big cheese of 14 kilograms, that was a little too much to bring. So these big wheels, that's impossible. But nicely enough, nowadays they also have these little ones. So over here I have a tiny variation, and this is a West Frieslander, so that means it's from this part of the country, not so far away even from Alkmaar, and this one is only half a kilogram, so it's a very tiny wheel, but in the end it has the same shape. And we're always saying that it's a Gouda cheese if it has the shape of a wheel. So it's always the wheel means that it is that is a Gouda cheese. So if it's this shape, then it's a Gouda cheese. But there can be all kind of variations, as I told you already. For example, the one over here, this is really a younger cheese. This is younger cheese, and to be honest, if you are in the Netherlands And if you're here and if you buy a cheese like this, you have to finish it almost immediately. Because what they say is that because it's such a tiny cheese, that it will get old very fast. And of course, normally a cheese they place in big farms, etc., and then changing it every 2 weeks, etc. But a cheese like this will get old very fast, so you have to finish it fast. So I'm always advising people not to go for it. I mean, it looks cute, of course, it's a nice souvenir, but if you want more quality, you can better go for another one. And I also brought that. Let's see, one moment. Somewhere in my bag, I'm searching for different things. Oh, I'm also gonna place you on a tripod. That's a little better so I can tell. Okay, I'm just gonna place the camera over here. So, hello everyone. So I'm sitting now next to you, and what I have more in my pocket. First one, very important tool if you are Dutch. Every household in the Netherlands always has cheese slicers. Most people don't even have one, but they have two or three different cheese slicers. And to be honest, this one over here that I brought today is just a simple one, but it is one that we use for middle-aged and older cheeses. So that's the one I brought, and I also brought two different cheeses. So I brought them from Amsterdam to Alkmaar. So I'm bringing the cheese back. So, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you two different ones. So one we have over here. This cheese over here is a Gouda cheese. You can see the size, and I told you already before, one of the things to check how old it is to look at the color. So first we look at the color. It is still a little yellow, this one, but not very yellow anymore. So that's the first thing. Then the second thing is I'm pushing a little and to feel how soft the cheese is. And then I'm feeling that it's not very soft anymore. So this means that this cheese is not very young, but it's also not very old because it's also not very orange yet. So it's somewhere in the middle. So we are calling that in Dutch een belegen kaas. We can also say about people, by the way, that are belegen. That means you're middle aged. That's my age. And of course, what we are traditionally doing, and when you're coming a little more nearby, you can see that it is literally cut with one of these big knives. And what you're normally doing is placing your cheese slicer on top. Oh, I have to remove a little piece. And yeah, to get the quality, you can see like how fat the cheese is. So there are also more fat and less fat cheeses. This one, you can maybe see it's a little shiny even. So it is a little fatter cheese. But I'm now gonna slice a piece. So, whoop. Okay. And when I'm slicing it, you can see it is crumbling. It's crumbling a little. So that's another sign that it's not very young cheese anymore. So, oh, it's crumbling. Oh, it's good for the pigeons. It's not even falling into pieces. So I'm giving it to the crow over here. There's a crow waiting. No, it's crumbling into pieces. And based on the taste, yeah, this is for sure middle aged. And I think if I'm tasting it, it is a little denser than the younger one. It's a little more salty than the younger one. So I assume that this cheese is about maybe 8 months old. So somewhere 6 to 8 months, a mature cheese, but not too young, not too old. And the thing is, what most younger people always love young Gouda cheese, but the older you're getting, the more you start loving the older Gouda cheeses. So this one is quite good. So that's one. Is it salty? Yeah, it is. It is a little salty, and that's one of the things that the longer you're waiting with the cheese, the saltier it gets. So basically, uh, yeah, 8 months old is middle age. That's true. Um, no, but the thing what happens inside when the cheeses, of course, they're making the cheeses in the farms from cow milk, and then when the cheese is ready, they're placing them inside the farm, and then they have to wait. And the longer you wait, the more the the more water is getting out of the cheeses. So it's literally drying up a little. And of course, there are also all kind of things happening inside the cheese. So to make it older. But let's go to the next one. I have over here a very specific one. And I brought this one because not only I lived for a long time in the city of Gouda. I was living there between my fifth and my 18th, and then I started to study. I started to study in the city of Leiden, and Leiden is quite famous because of a variation of the cheese. And Leiden is, by the way, also not so far away from over here. Um, and what I did in Leiden is you have the same Gouda cheese, a little less fat. And then what I did, you can see there is something inside. There's something inside that is not very typical Dutch, by the way. There are little seeds. There are little seeds inside. I'm just gonna try to remove the sides. Right. I'm gonna remove the sides because never eat that. Is just the wax on the sides to protect the cheeses. Um, no, but they have little cumin seeds inside, and cumin, to be honest, originally is not from the Netherlands. So what happened in the 17th century is we were traveling all over the world, and our traders were going to Asia and back. And a lot of our trade was with the country of Indonesia, what now is Indonesia. And we were bringing a lot of spices back. And one of the spices that was brought back was the cumin or the cumin seeds. And what happened is from one day to the other, we don't know exactly what happened. Most probably there is a chance that just someone let some cumin seeds fell into the cheese. Maybe it was a mistake or something like that. But the cumin ended up in the cheeses and it's giving a very specific taste. And I, to be honest, really love this one. I'm just gonna do it now from the top. And you can see already that it is less crumbly. It's just more a nice piece. So this means that this cheese over here is younger than the one that I tried before. So I can also, if I'm having it in my hand and crumbling it a little, then I also can feel that it's less stern. It is more softer, so that means a younger cheese. I'm now gonna try. Oh, it's really good. Mm, sorry that you hear me chewing and things, and maybe you don't have this cheese at home, but it's really good. Just going for a second piece. So, and of course, that is something. If you're living in the Netherlands, if you're really Dutch, then you have to do this. You have to know how to use a cheese slicer because that's part of your education. So I'm just going for a second piece. Yeah, to be honest, this is not one from Leiden. This is a Gouda cheese with cumin. So you have the Leidse cumin cheese and you have the Gouda cheese with cumin, and this is the Gouda cheese with cumin. A little variation, but it is about the same. But this is again a good one. I'm expecting that this one, because it's a younger cheese, so this will be about 2 months old. So about 2 months old. So the earlier one was 6 to 8. This one is only 2 months old. And just to give you an idea, you can go to really old cheeses. And the old cheeses, when they're very orange, very salty, also that will be about max 2.5 years. So you have to wait a lot longer. But then in the end, of course, also the taste is changing and it's getting denser, it's getting more salty, it's getting more firm. But it is in the end a fuller taste that you have. And yes, there are nowadays also plant-based cheeses. So I'm not vegan, I'm a vegetarian, so I'm still eating cheese. I tried some of the vegan cheeses. Some of them are not that bad, to be honest. Try eating another piece. I have to cut it nicely. Mm. So yeah, so this is was just a very short cheese tasting at the end of this tour from the cheese market. I still have some pieces that were falling from the other side, so I'm just throwing them for the birds. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions about the market, about cheeses, about Alkmaar, just let me know because I still have 5 to 10 minutes to tell you some more if you want. And if not, then I'm going, of course, to I'm going to eat some more cheese over here while I'm here, or maybe buying some pieces of cheese. So from Frau Antje. Oh yeah, by the way, Frau Antje, you saw the traditional the traditional clothes that were used by the women that were selling the cheese. So that is the traditional clothes of the 17th century, 17th/18th century, and of course, nowadays people don't wear things like this anymore. So it's more to show how in the old times, in the traditional times, people were what people were wearing. But the Dutch, what they did, the Dutch are also really good traders and were really good business people. So to sell more cheeses, what the Dutch did in the 1950s, what is our big neighbor? Our big neighbor is Germany. And the Dutch wanted that the Germans were starting to uh, buy more cheese. And they were thinking like, yeah, the quality for cheese is good, but how can we get German people to buy more cheese? And then they designed Frau Antje. Frau Antje is the Dutch cheese girl. Of course, a beautiful blonde girl in her traditional clothes who is selling cheese. And Frau Antje became very popular. So they did a lot of advertisements on in newspapers, but also on television with Frau Antje. She was also speaking very good German from one day to the other, not Dutch anymore. And that's how German people more and more started to buy cheeses. So that's for mainly for German people. If I'm talking about Frau Antje, they all know what I'm talking about. And the interesting thing is that in the Netherlands, most people don't even know. So I was just standing there. I was just standing there next to some Dutch people, and they were like, "Frau Antje, is that person Antje? How do you know? How do you know?" So, and I said like, "Yeah, no, this is Frau Antje. This is how you're calling them how you're calling these girls in Germany." So it was a very smart idea from businessmen already in the 15th century, in the sorry the 50, in the 1950s. So I mean, of course, women selling cheeses. I mean, what's new? Normally it's cars. In this situation, it was the cheeses. So, oh yeah, while walking back, I forgot one thing. I forgot one important thing. So just just before we end this tour today, I'm gonna show you something else because also it is. I'm just gonna change the screen because it is quite beautiful. All these little streets and everything over here. So compared to Amsterdam, Alkmaar is a lot smaller, cuter. They have and it's also a lot calmer than Amsterdam. And here in the weighing house nowadays, there is the cheese museum. But not only there's a cheese museum, also we have next to this bicycle over here. Look at this statue over here. We have over here Cheese Girl. This is Frau Antje, only then in the bronze version. The bronze version. And what you see is it is the Beemster kissing point. Beemster is the name of one of the cheeses of the variation of the Gouda cheese. And this girl over here is asking all of us to kiss us. So They're asking us, okay, just stand in front over here. So I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna try to do that. So, okay, I'm standing here in front and I have to kiss her. That's the trizzle. I'm not. Oscar could kiss her. Yeah, that would be a nice one the next time. So I kissed Antje now, or I kissed the traditional Dutch girl, uh, and she was promoting this cheese, Beemster. That is the Gouda cheese that's coming from the Beemster, and the Beemster is one of the pieces of reclaimed land that is nearby Alkmaar, and that's where the a majority of the cheese is coming from, where the majority of the milk is coming from. So that's why she's promoting the Beemster and not the Gouda, but it is a variation of the Gouda cheese, basically. Okay, I think if there are, yeah, there were a lot of other people looking at me like, what's that guy doing? Um, so I will hear the church bells chiming again. Um, if there are some last questions, just let me know. If not, I'm gonna end this tour and then I will seeing you another time again, of course. So, but I hope you enjoyed it to at least see a little of the cheese market, learn a little about what's going on all of here, and I'm also, of course, very grateful for all the tips and all the support, because without that, I cannot keep on doing these tours. Now, today, Alkmaar, there will be a lot of other things in the coming weeks, and I'm just going a little over the market. You see, there are a lot of people sitting over here, enjoying their time. Wait one moment. Oh yeah, from over here you can also see the buyers of the cheeses. They're placing them in the lorries and then of course bringing the cheese home. I'm just going to the end of the market for some last shots. Uh, let's see if I can still go to the side. No, it's not allowed anymore. It's not allowed. So I'm sorry. So I wanna thank you. This Saturday, and it's all placed already. This Saturday, I'm gonna do another very special tour, because what I will do is I'm going to the city of Hoorn. That's, by the way, not so far away from Alkmaar. A beautiful, one of the most beautiful medieval towns that you can find in the Netherlands. It's next to the old Southern Sea, now the biggest lake in the Netherlands. That is one, and after that, I will do a steam train. I will do a steam train. I've done that before, but now I will do the steam train back and forth with drinks aboard, while with sunset. So it will be sunset around this time on Saturday. So I'm really hoping that we have good weather, that we will see the sun. The predictions are very good, by the way, for this weekend. So it will be summer again. So I hope to see some of you again. And if not, another time on another tour, because there's still a lot to come. So thank you for joining. I'm just going to show you a last piece of the guy who is, wait, this is beautiful, isn't it? Bringing the cheeses, the sold cheeses, back to the buyer. Okay, thank you. See you again. Bye bye.